Hi friends, I'm Jenny and this is Jenny's Light Within. I think I realised why I am enjoying starting with a spin and it's becoming a thing. It's like a reset, it's like a spin and it helps me with my nerves as I'm about to embark on, talking in front of a camera, which is new for me. So I love that. Something's being birthed. Something new has been birthed from this. Amazing. Miracles already. Anyway, on another note, I created like my first video of content about stuff, as you do here on YouTube. And I uploaded it. I just uploaded it. And I was watching it back yesterday. And it was a really interesting process for me because a lot of judgment came up and like a lot of self-criticism about the jumbled mass and whether I could make it to the point. And I was talking, for those of you who didn't see the video, about finding the light in the darkness, and I'm watching it back thinking, you didn't really explain, because I talk about gratitude, and did you even explain what your point was about gratitude and why gratitude is that portal? And I struggle to get to the point sometimes, and I always have, and I uploaded the video anyway. And the reason I'm starting here in this place is because I had no idea what this journey is going to be, except that as I was trying to speak about in my last video, Jenny's Light Within is about cultivating my true light, like my truth. And that truth, it's like a compass. It's like a guidance system. It sort of gets me out of the headspace that thinks it knows and brings me back into this heart cohesion where there's this clear guidance. And as I was mentioning in the video, like I've been cultivating this joy and these beautiful moments where it doesn't matter what's going on the outside, I can feel good and grounded on the inside, which is so new for me because in the past, I was just a heavy weight of heaviness and a falsehood, I guess, without knowing it. This is no judgment to my former self, and but I wasn't showing up authentically as me in my light. And so I uploaded the video because I really want this to be a testament of stepping out authentically as I am right here, right now in this space. For whatever reason, I am being guided by myself, which is connected to all the rest of the universe and God, source, whatever you want to call it. But it's this channel, which, by the way, gratitude, when you cultivate gratitude, it opens up that channel much more clearer so you can hear that. Presence as well is really good for that, which is what I was getting at in that last video. But when we open up that channel and we start listening, I can only talk from my own experience here. You may be experts at this, but in my own experience, it's like a whole new way of being for me. Because in the past, I realized that from a really young age, like incredibly young, little Jen decided that it wasn't safe to be who she really was, and I decided that I needed to be what everyone else needed me to be, and became, as we've heard the term, people pleaser for a long time, and showed up as what I felt I needed to be in the world, because what I wasn't okay. It wasn't good enough, or it wasn't acceptable. And this belief system stayed with me for a very, very long time, and I didn't know any better. I didn't try to take on this belief system. I didn't even know I had a belief system. This is just all you know, right? When that's all you know, that's what you know. And that's why, being able to channel into these other states of being is such a beautiful awakening, because you start to realize that you are the one that's in control. It's all coming from you. But until you know that, until you have awareness around that, you don't know any different. This is how you are. And so for a long time, I walked around with incredible heaviness, and I struggled in the world. I've struggled with what they term social anxiety, and not to put labels on myself, but I would find social situations really uncomfortable because, you know, I had this feeling that I had to fulfill the needs, and I think some of that was coming from my true essence, because I've always had this feeling of I love to give, like and I love to see people, and I love to hear people. I love to, like, I used to be a clown doctor, and I loved, you know, walking into spaces, and, you know, particularly with some of the parents that were going through really like incredibly horrible things with their children, like watching their children be incredibly sick or even passing away. And I just loved being able to shift that energy just with, you know, by seeing people and seeing people and valuing people. You could see them see themselves and mirroring that. And so it's always been a real core thing, and giving and helping, and that's the core of me. It's what I've always wanted to do, is to just give to the world. But you can't truly, authentically give to the world if you're not giving to yourself, right? And so this journey here on YouTube and showing up like this and sharing like this is sort of like my first real moment of allowing myself to be seen and stepping out truly as who I really am, and being okay in that, you know, in all of its non-perfection. And it's been a really beautiful reminder to watch back my video. And in watching it, I decided to listen to the advice. I was talking about gratitude, and I was suddenly filled with the gratitude for really truly being able to recognize what it is I'm embodying here, because I was trying to get to that point in the video yesterday, and I don't know if I quite managed to. And I remember thinking, oh, I can't talk about another video in this video. I'm like, it's my YouTube channel, I can do what I want, right? I'm showing up authentically, this is what it is. So in this authenticity, I show up today with so much gratitude that I stood up and I created a video, and I made it, and it was what it was. And, you know, I didn't think it was as smooth running as it could have been, and I struggled with articulation, but it was great to be able to see it and to be able to, like, I could see how I can improve. Like, I already feel more comfortable. The third video in, and I'm feeling more comfortable behind the camera. Like, it's only going to get better. Like, the more you do something, the better you get at it, right? And so it's pushing me into this area of, like I was saying yesterday, embodying the truth, like being the knower. And that really is embodying all of me. And I feel like this YouTube thing, this journey it's almost like I'm stepping into that little version of me that got squashed at a very young age, squashed by myself, I will say. You know, just taking on the world around me and belief systems from my own upbringing and family, and it's not putting the blame on anyone. It's just a belief system I took on, and it's the world around us. You know, you've got to sort of fit in. It's like the square peg fitting into the round hole, and you know, little Jen was just so confused and wanted to be loved, I guess, and just wanted to, you know, do her best, and she thought that's what she needed to do her best. And so at a very young age, all these layers came on top of my light, and it dimmed my light. And so now as I step here, it's like I'm going back to that place very early on, and it's like I've kind of got to rediscover who she is, because I never really gave myself the permission to find out. And so again, what I was talking about in my video yesterday about trust and embodying and giving yourself that permission, I feel like this is the ultimate permission slip for me right now, because it is enabling me to walk my path authentically, for the first time ever. And I just chopped my head off on the video there. I'll get better at that too. But I'm not going to edit this. I'm not going to take it out. I'm just going to do this as I'm doing this right now, showing up and sharing. And what a beautiful gift it has been for me to have been cultivating this joy, like I was talking about, cultivating this sense of peace through, tools like gratitude, which, connected me to my heart. Also presence. I'll probably talk about that more in future videos. But, in cultivating this connection and communication with my heart, it is allowing me to truly walk in new ways and become a creator rather than just a consumer. Like, I've spent a long time consuming the content, and I've done this, like, I've watched many YouTube content creators who have inspired me, and it's just been so great. It's been what I've needed to keep me on my path, and yet I consume, but at what point do I give? And I'm such a giver. I love to give. As I said, it's always been the core of me. And so stepping into this place where I'm authentically having to show up with all my fumbles and all my weird eyebrow movements and all of it, all of me, with whoever of you is here. And it might be nobody. And I'm really okay with that. I really am. I started this journey. I wasn't going to talk about this, but now I am. Back in 2018, I released this album, and that was a big, massive part of my journey, because prior to that moment, I loved music. I grew up, when I was younger, I used to compose on the piano and music. I just love putting sounds together. It's a real passion of mine. I never thought I was a singer, but I love writing songs, and I do sing now, but back then I just knew I loved music. And after my son died, I remember it was like this push into what are you doing? Why aren't you playing music? And I just had this whole big stepping out into being that bold version that could make music. And I did a Kickstarter campaign, and I raised all this money to make this album for bereaved parents based on my journey losing my son, and I wanted it to be this big, and it was this big, beautiful event, and gift it to Red Nose, the charity, who had been a support through us. We had a counsellor, Mary Beth, shout out to you, and who was just incredible when we were going through the grief of losing our son. And so I wanted to give back. I didn't want it to be anything about, for myself. I wanted it to be this charity and making this music, and the heart behind it was beautiful. Gosh, I'm not shaming or condemning that version of myself. But as I re-embark on this journey of stepping out publicly, I've been on a bit of a quest, and what I have come to realize is that I just wasn't ready then to fully embark on the authenticity and receiving what it was I thought I wanted at that time. Because I remember when I was making this album and doing this, I remember it was such a bold move, and it was so big for me to step out and have the confidence to even say I was a musician. And suddenly I was making Kickstarter campaigns and having to make videos and go and play live, and it was this massive shift, and it was a big part of my journey, very necessary. But I think I had this expectation of what it was to be for me, and that I was to finish, and then suddenly, I'd be on this journey of making music, and, and I might be a sponsor for, be able to talk about grief, and I wanted to help people in that way. And I remember when it finished, that wasn't how it went. Things fizzled very quickly, and I was but I was directed into another area of my life where work was needed in other areas, in particular my relationship, my marriage, and my relationship to myself, which I didn't know at the time. Like, you know, I'd had this massive breakthrough after my son died, and I remember just had so much I wanted to share and spread, because I'd had this revelation that, you know, like that we could shift our focus, and even in the depths of despair and darkness, it's possible to claw your way out of the hole, which is where I think I was going with my last video. Just that sense of hope. And I wanted to be that beacon of hope for other people, because I remember I just needed that when I was going through it. And yet suddenly, like, the journey took a different turn, and I remember, like, sort of COVID hit close after that time, and I, you know, wasn't working like most of us, and so I decided to start creating music, and this is something I love doing, and I learned on Logic Pro how to put sounds together, and started just creating these tracks. And I really love making these dance tracks, and I love dancing, and I like, you know, I'd love to create, well, even me just saying this now, it's only just come through recently that I would love to maybe create these dance vibe spaces with great dance music. And I'm even just questioning saying it, because this was not about my music, but this is me just being authentically me, right? And the reason that those sorts of bits of inspiration are coming to me right now is all because of me just starting and posting the video like I did yesterday, right? I'm getting all this fresh inspiration, because as I was saying back there, you know, I mentioned how I kind of jump all over the place sometimes and struggle to get to the point. Yeah, this is one of those moments. But when I was talking about gratitude, like, and leaning into what the video was talking about, I started leaning into the gratitude I had for, you know, the video just giving me the opportunity to see myself, to improve on how I talk and how I communicate, and I might be able to get clearer. But also it's just given me, like, fresh new ideas. Like, all morning I've just had all these fresh inspiration and thinking about my music again. And to backtrack onto the music thing, only really in the last probably year or so, I have really just come to the place, because I created all this music and then I uploaded it, and it got taken down. It's a bit of a long story, but I decided about a year ago to upload it to Spotify. And, you know, you share it with all your people when you first put it on, and you get your 80 monthly listens. I thought, well, this is going well. And then it just went straight back down to like 6 people listening. Like, no one's listening. I think I'm the only person who's listening to my tracks. And I've been working through this process of what it all means, and why do I create this music, and why am I even sharing it? Like, what's the point? And no one, it's, you know, no, it's obviously weird, and it is a bit different, my music. It's and I struggle with all the, like, because I don't know how to do all the mixing properly and mastering, and so I'm trying to get the levels right and hearing certain bits of distortion, and then I lost the files for some of my tracks, so I couldn't, like, redo them, and it was like, this is it or nothing. Do I just completely throw away the track, or do I just upload it to Spotify and just let it free? And I've had that moment that I guess is kind of like this moment on YouTube, where I just decided I'm just going to put it out there, because I made this music, I like this music, and the creation process for me gives me so much. Like, I just get so much from it, so much joy, and it inspires me other ways. I'll be a better mum for it, because I've played, like, I come and I'm present with my kids because I've done something nurturing for myself, which is just making music. So I've really come to this place over the last year of, like, just accepting that, you know, maybe my music's just for me, and that's okay. And I had a time recently where I was having a bit of a tough day, and one of my songs came on my playlist that I put on a playlist that was playing, and it just came on at the exact moment that it needed to. And the words that I sing in the song inspired me in that moment. I'm thinking, and I cried. I thought, oh my goodness, like, it's doing its thing. It doesn't need to go out to the world. Like, it did it for me, and I got joy out of it. And so that's enough. Like, that's enough. It doesn't need to be anything else. And so coming back to the video and uploading and scrutinizing and judging where I'm at and what it is, and I really am enjoying this process of showing up for the first time, just as I am, discovering as I go authentically and genuinely, not caring what the outcome is. Genuinely. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, to be able to, like, inspire, like that was like with the album, I really like the heart behind it was I really wanted to be able to inspire, like even just one person to just know that they could get through darkness and that they could get through the loss of a child. And it's the same with this. Like if my messages somehow reach one person and it sparks them into you, if you are the one person that's still watching, thank you if you're still here, letting me be me and have my rant here. But like if I can inspire someone through this means, through something I say, or it gives them the aha moment and it sparks the light in them and they can go off and then be their best selves and we just create this knock-on effect on the planet, well, that's bloody awesome, that is. I like that. And it's nice to feel alive and enlightened and in alignment with what's real and true to me as I'm discovering her, that little me that got squashed, and all this work over the years that I've done of taking off the layers and, you know, uncovering that darkness and that heaviness that I was carrying around that wasn't me. I didn't know any better, I wasn't aware, but now that I'm aware and I get to like rediscover this and I have this platform to do this, like I'm just so grateful already, like so grateful. And I don't even have any like new subscribers yet, and I'm already this deep in gratitude for this, for what I'm getting out of it. So showing up for me first, and whoever else, and if it's no one else, that's okay too, because I'm just here showing up to share. And I just want to thank you if you are watching and you are here and you resonate, and this is where I struggle at the end of the videos to know how to wrap up and round off, but that's okay. I feel myself coming to a close, and I just want to thank you for sharing this moment with me, allowing me to show up authentically as I am here in this moment, all of me. And as I continue to walk this path, I'm going to continue to tune in to my heart and my compass, and I'm going to continue to show up. And I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see what this is, because already it's deepening my heart, and already it's deepening my gratitude, and already it's deepening me. It's connecting me back to me. This is like the ultimate show of acceptance of and love of myself. And for someone who I've never felt that, like I really never truly felt that about myself. It was always everyone else, but it was never me. I've always wondered, like, how do you get confidence? Like, I'm trying to look for it, and it's like, this is it, right here, now, like everything. It's like now, in this moment now, you be it, and you're helping me to hold the space to be this, and I honor you for that. So, that all said, I'm going to leave it here today, and I hope to catch you in the next video. Sending a lot of love and gratitude.